The one thing you are going to need that I know is hard to get a hold of right now is yeast. You can either get the loose or you get the packages. If you get the packages, you need 1 single package. And if you get the loose, you need 2 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. So we're just gonna put that in our bowl right now, and we're gonna add 1 1/2 cups of warm water. And we're just gonna let that sit for about a minute. Yeast is a living thing. I've always been afraid to use yeast, and about a month before we all went into quarantine, my sister and I took a baking course, and we learned how to make bread, and we learned how to make pretzels and cinnamon buns. So I just thought we'd give this a try today. And since I've learned that, I've been baking a lot. Okay, we've let this sit about a minute now, so now we're gonna add some sugar. Sugar actually wakes up the yeast and activates it. So we're gonna need some of that. So we're adding a tablespoon of brown sugar and a tablespoon of melted butter and a teaspoon of salt. And we're just gonna stir that up, and we're gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes. And this will proof your yeast, and if it doesn't do anything, then you know your yeast isn't any good. I actually went to a bulk store and bought some yeast during this time, and when I did that, it didn't do anything. So I knew that the yeast was not good from there. So you're gonna do this before you do anything else. Let it proof, let it bubble up. So we do that for 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, and now our yeast has all proofed, and it's all bubbly, and it's ready. So we're going to use our mixer, just because you can do it by hand, but I kind of like doing it this way. So if I use your big mixer, you're going to use your dough hook on this, and we're going to start adding flour. So we've got 3 cups of flour that we're going to add. So you're just going to add a little bit at a time. And just make sure that's all mixed in. I love the smell of the yeast. It just smells like a bakery, even though nothing's baked yet. It's just that smell of it. Now, if you did want to use whole wheat, you could use 2 cups of white flour and 1 cup of whole wheat if you wanted to do that. I've never done them all whole wheat, so I'm not sure. Just back to the yeast thing too. I did try these with a yeast substitute, and they just didn't taste very good. So I wouldn't suggest you do that. So we've added 3 cups of our flour. Now we have a 4th cup, and we're just going to add maybe about 3/4 of that in there. And here we go with flour everywhere. Once that's all kind of in a ball, we're going to take it out. And you just kind of look at it, and if you press it and it bounces back, that means it's ready to be kneaded. So we're just going to throw a little bit of the rest of our flour on there. Not all of it, just some of it. And we're just going to knead this for about 3 minutes. Okay, so we've kneaded it for 3 minutes, and we've just made it into a ball. We don't need to let it rise for very long, maybe about 10 minutes. We're just going to put a cloth over it and let it rise for about 10 minutes. Okay, so we let this, I actually let it rise for maybe about 20 minutes because I was busy doing other things. So it's a nice size now. So we're going to cut it into 12 pieces. I'm going to cut right through. So I usually do it in half, then 4, then each one of these is going to be into 3. Okay, and then we're going to take each piece and we're going to roll it. This is, you know, everything that you learned in kindergarten that you thought you'd never use. You're going to roll this out to about 20 inches. So you can do that for each of them. I'm just going to measure here just to see how many I need of these. Okay, so a little bit further to go. And if you can try and get it uniform, but you know what, I'm not a real perfectionist, so I never do. So I get my pan over here that I'm going to put them on. And then we're just going to take it, twist it like that, and seal it down and put it on our pan. And we're going to continue to do that for all 12. Now we did have a little bit of explosion on the stove, so they're a little bit, they've risen a little bit. But we've taken 9 cups of water and 1/4 cup of baking soda. Make sure you add that together first. Do not add the baking soda after, or you will have an explosion. And so we're going to put each one of these in here for about 20 seconds, sort of put the water over it. And what this will do, this will make it kind of like that nice brown, kind of that topping that you have on a pretzel, you know, when you go to the ball game. And just do that. And this will eliminate having to do an egg wash on it. So just do it for about 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, and then just take it out and lay it on a pan. Okay, so we're all ready. We've got 6 of them on here, and we're going to do 3 of them with a bit of sea salt on them. We're just going to generously, well, not generously, it depends how much salt you want, right? I'm going to put salt on these. And then the other ones, we're just going to bake like that, and then afterwards we're going to put a little bit of cinnamon on them. And our oven is at 425, and we're going to bake them for 15 to 18 minutes. Okay, we pulled these out of the oven. I need to backtrack a bit. Your oven should only be at 400, and you're going to bake them for about 12 to 15 minutes. These are a little bit browner than they should be. So these are the 3 with the sea salt on it. And then these 3, we're going to put some cinnamon on it. Now, the recipe does make 12, so you can do all 12 sea salt, or you could do all 12 cinnamon, or I usually do a mixture of both because we kind of like both around here. And then the sea salt ones, you could actually serve with some melted cheese or with some mustard. So we just brushed some melted butter on it, and I've just taken about 1/3 of a cup of sugar, white sugar, and put about ½ a teaspoon of cinnamon in it, and we're just going to sprinkle that on these while they're warm. And then we'll just let them cool off before we have them. So yeah, they're kind of like a nice little treat to have on an afternoon or on a rainy day. So enjoy.